Close your eyes. And at first, just create, or maybe a better way to put it is to become aware of the quiet space that's always there, but that we become distracted from in the course of our busy lives and all the stuff that we have going on. And let the breath just start to move in and out. And what you'll feel is that your attention starts to back away from the world and the things of the world, and that you become immersed in your own being. One of my favorite quotes of spirituality is that the kingdom of heaven is within you. And that when we're doing meditation, you're allowing your awareness to go deep inside to a place that's not as blown about by the events of being in the world, to a place of peace. And that when we spend our days at work and pursuing things, we're so caught in our minds because that's the tool of the world, that it's easy to be distracted from and forget that you've got this place of peace inside you. So as we begin this meditation, and I would encourage it for all meditations, that you start just by taking a few breaths and orienting yourself with the depth that you have and that you are. And you can breathe through that, and every breath will take you a little deeper. And just start to feel the rhythm of your breath moving in and out. Again, today's meditation is focused on awareness. So the first awareness is of yourself and your body, creating and becoming aware of the depth of your being. So the first step of awareness is going inside. And the second step of awareness is the breath. The breath is a brilliant way to feel your attachment and connection to God, your higher power, or even physics and biology, if you want to look at it that way. But the breath is a non-broken chain of interaction that you have with something that's greater than yourself. It's so easy to take the breath for granted because it's always there. But it really is our lifeline. And it's a model, and it can be a practice in itself. So for this moment right here, right now, just be with the breath. And as you find yourself shifting your attention to the breath, this is what we're talking about when we talk about awareness. It's a way of being with the truth of who you are, this awareness. And it's not just mind-based, and it's not just heart or emotion or feeling-based. The quieter that you get, the more that the heart center and the mind center and thoughts and thinking all start to combine and roll up into this one quality that we call awareness. So let your breath deepen. If it's suitable for you, let the breath come in through the nose. You're breathing in through the nose and you're holding slightly and then releasing the breath, allowing it to escape out the mouth. And again, that awareness is watching and feeling the breath. And the breath becomes an entry point or a reminder or a cue that your body gives you of taking awareness from the breath and going even deeper. It's almost like a Pavlovian response, right? When you sit down to eat and your mouth starts to water, that when you sit down to go inside and find peace and you close your eyes and you bring your attention from the outside world and start focusing it inward, that you're developing a quality of awareness that begins with breath. And instead of the mouth watering, you start to feel the depth of who you are. The breath is a cue that you are so much more than you ever knew you were. So awareness starts on the breath and expands and it goes deeper. So allow yourself to have that experience. You've got the breath moving in and moving out in a beautiful pattern, a beautiful rhythm. You feel as the air comes in that it's energizing and vitalizing your attention, your Shakti, your life force, your prana. That when you bring attention to the breath and you breathe in a beautiful controlled fashion in through the nose and out through the mouth, you're stimulating all these hormones of safety. You're telling your body that everything is okay. And that lets energy go from being fight or flight driven into going deeper. And as you are a being of energy, how you use your energy and how you focus energy is much of what life is about. You have this beautiful power, this beautiful sense of will and focus. You've got talents and skills. And when you bring awareness to the breath, it saturates all of your other abilities, all of the other things you do in life with a sense of peace. And you become aware of who you really are. So the breath is the first step in finding this depth, this going to the capital S self. The breath is awareness. Now feel how, as you breathe with a sense of purpose around becoming aware of your awareness, that it grows and it gets deeper, and your whole inner world gets quieter and slows down. Notice how, as you relax into this meditation, this moment that you're in, there's a deep sense of connection. When you connect with the breath, you connect with consciousness, your soul, and you go deeper into your being, you find yourself on a wavelength where we are all connected. The non-duality is there. You become aware that there's so much more going on than your thoughts and your emotions. And the breath leads to awareness, which leads to the power, which leads to the skill, the skill of being a yogi, of being able to access the peace that passeth all understanding that's within you. So breath, awareness, and you're able to connect with the authenticity of who you are. Awareness is the ability to watch old habits, to recognize when the mind and the brain are creating thoughts. That awareness gives you the space to not be identified with them. That awareness is to be identified with the self, to be able to create space between you and the world, but that space, when centered in breath, will take you deeper into connection with the world. Authentic and real connection with the world, with connection with others, being able to listen better, hear better, feel better, to be able to perceive the truth of situations instead of the mind's reactions and anxiety's responses to situations. Awareness is knowing that anxiety kicks up. Awareness is knowing that the mind creates thoughts in response to threat. Awareness knows that your mind has a job to do, and sometimes it overreacts. And awareness lets you love the mind that overreacts, but not go with it. So bring your awareness back to the breath and recenter. Just let awareness rest in awareness. This sort of sense of quietly sitting, being in the world, but not being stuck in the world. Awareness is knowing the power of your will and the power of your concentration. It's being aware of the beautiful gift that the mind can be when it's not stuck in reactivity and panic and anxiety. Awareness is how you connect with consciousness. And consciousness is the witness that's watching the mind. Awareness allows you to be with the mind and love it to death. So let your awareness come back to the breath. And just for a moment, let your awareness sort through the body. Feel tightness, feel stuck points of the body, and just let a sense of relaxation roll through your whole being, just letting go of tension. And let your awareness guide the body through releasing all of the holdings that you've created from fear and doubt and old traumas. Let that awareness be an act of kindness to yourself, an act of kindness to the stress that you put on your body. Let that awareness be an act of kindness towards the mind and all of its thinking. From the place of awareness, you can let the mind relax and not be in complete panic mode. You can watch the mind try to save you. You can watch the mind create catastrophes out of normal situations. And from awareness, you know that you don't have to identify with those catastrophes. They're just a fantasy or a horror movie playing out on the screen of your imagination. Consciousness is witnessing all of that. And awareness is the place where you have the ability to work. Because you can take your awareness and put it on the mind and get lost in anxiety. With practice and developing skill and breathing, you can take that awareness and put it on the heart, put it on consciousness, put it on the soul. You can turn your awareness to a place where it helps you instead of hurts you. So as your awareness is so closely tied to the breath, it's also a habit. Because where you turn your awareness is who you become, is the life that gets laid out in front of you. Where you put your energy, that's where it goes. That's what happens. So bring your awareness to the breath. Bring your awareness to the beautiful rhythm that's natural and organic, that's inside you. You may feel the power of samskara, old issues, old traumas that can hijack your awareness. They can be so insistent upon trying to find safety that your awareness gets pulled away from the truth of who you are. And that's natural. It's an evolutionary gift of survival. But most of what your awareness is looking at is not really a threat to your being. So you bring your awareness back to the breath, back to the self, back to the deepest form of consciousness, the deepest layer of consciousness that resides within you. So feel the power of breath in acting as a cue for awareness. And know that in meditation, you can breathe and awareness will come to you and you can direct it. But also know that during a stressful day, a difficult day, even in the midst of the hardest situations in life, you can trigger awareness with breath, a deep, rhythmic, intentional breath. And that will start awareness. You'll be aware of thoughts, you'll be aware of emotions. That's how you create relaxation and release, because it starts with awareness. So be with your breath all day. Check in with the breath all day long. Learn how to be in tune with your breath and watch how awareness ensues from that action. Let the breath move in and out. Let your awareness rest on watching the breath. Let your awareness rest on the body's emotional systems, the hormones, the stress chemicals that float through your system. Let the breath and the awareness relax all of that. And meditation is practice. It's quite literally the repetition of seeking awareness through breath. And that's why practice is important. It's a skill. And it's a skill with no destination. Because while you seek to breathe and you seek awareness and you seek all these gifts of spirituality as a way to replace suffering and pain and anxiety, you'll find that list of gifts that come your way as you develop the depth of this awareness. Because first, it's about the mind and the thoughts. And quite naturally, as you become aware of the panic in your thoughts, with time, they fall away. It just takes some time and practice. But that's not the destination. And then you find that you have a sense of clarity that grows once the mind becomes calm and your heart doesn't overwhelm you with emotions. You develop clarity. You get a sense of being able to see situations. You get a sense that when people say things, you don't have to respond immediately, that you can act with awareness in a way that's more authentic to who you want to be. But that's not the destination. And then you notice that this clarity leads to a sense of trust in the universe, because you've seen over and over again how you don't have to be in control. And that leads to a place of surrender. But that's not the destination. And what you find is that you become your own mentor, your own teacher as you go deeper. And that the kingdom of heaven is within you has a whole new meaning. That place inside goes from a place of refuge and safety to a place of guidance and intuition and understanding and telepathy and all these deep, beautiful, powerful gifts that come from breath and awareness and practice. So in the early stages, it's about breath and awareness of the mind and the inner roommate and catastrophization from thinking. But sit through that. Sit through the difficult moments when your stuff is coming up and your heart is cleansing and you have to re-experience a lot of the pain that you suppressed early on in your life and perhaps other lifetimes, as you sit with them, they release and awareness takes on a bigger and bigger role in your life, becoming more than just a place of peace and becoming the source of your power. So take a nice deep breath and just feel where you are right now. Feel the sense of this place that you've discovered inside yourself. And know that's your true guide. That's you approaching the kingdom of heaven. This is how you create a space with your higher power. Celebrate yourself. Reinforce this beautiful act. Reinforce this beautiful practice. Reinforce the love, the gift that you're giving yourself and the empowerment of self that is spawned by the habit of awareness. Have a beautiful day. Thank you.